Hello everyone, welcome back to Africa Revealed. Today, we explore an African success story, Benin's economic transformation under Patrice Talon. Since his election in 2016, this visionary, nicknamed the entrepreneurial president, has launched bold reforms that are redefining the country's economic landscape. From modern infrastructure to foreign investment, including tax and anti-corruption reforms, Benin is on an upward trajectory. But how did this country, once dependent on agriculture, become a model of growth in West Africa? Watch until the end to discover the secrets of this economic revolution and its impact on the population. Before Patrice Talon became president in 2016, Benin faced many economic and structural challenges. With an economy largely dependent on agriculture, particularly cotton production, the country struggled to diversify its productive sectors. Infrastructure was aging, limiting the development of industries and hampering regional trade. The business climate was also marked by structural weaknesses, inefficient bureaucracy, insufficient energy infrastructure, and widespread corruption that discouraged domestic and foreign investors. These obstacles placed Benin at a disadvantage in global economic rankings, hampering its growth potential. On the social level, poverty affected a large part of the population, particularly in rural areas. Young people, who represent a significant proportion of the population, faced endemic unemployment and a lack of economic opportunities. Faced with these challenges, Patrice Talon, drawing on his experience as an entrepreneur and cotton magnate, proposed an ambitious vision to transform Benin. With his plan Le Benin Reveal, he committed to revitalizing the economy through bold reforms, modernizing infrastructure, and diversifying sources of income. This difficult context laid the foundation for the necessary reforms, and Talon's leadership quickly became a catalyst for a new era of economic prosperity. But how did he manage to initiate this change? That's what we will discover in the following sections. When Patrice Talon came to power in 2016, he quickly implemented a series of ambitious reforms to revive the Beninese economy. His pragmatic approach, drawn from his experience in the private sector, focused on modernization, investment attractiveness, and effective governance. One of Talon's first flagship measures was the strategic privatization of certain key sectors. The objective was to attract private investment to improve management and productivity. For example, the management of the autonomous port of Cotonou, a pillar of the national economy, was entrusted to international partners to increase its efficiency and turn it into a regional logistics hub. In addition, public-private partnerships, PPPs, have been established in areas such as infrastructure, energy, and telecommunications, making it possible to raise funds while benefiting from the expertise of the private sector. Talon has also transformed the tax system, making it more transparent and efficient. Measures have been put in place to reduce tax evasion and simplify administrative procedures, thereby increasing public revenues. This approach has enabled Benin to climb the business climate rankings, particularly that of the World Bank. At the same time, a rigorous fight against corruption has been launched, targeting not only civil servants, but also harmful practices within the private sector. This has fostered a healthier and more attractive economic environment for foreign investors. Aware of the limits of an economy that is too dependent on cotton, Talon has initiated programs to diversify sectors of activity. Agriculture has been modernized with investments in the processing of agricultural products, such as pineapple, cashew, and soybeans, in order to develop local value chains. In parallel, tourism and creative industries have been identified as sectors with high potential. Projects such as the rehabilitation of historical sites and the development of national parks aim to position Benin as a unique cultural and ecological destination in West Africa. To modernize the administration, the government has adopted a digitalization strategy. Public services have become more accessible, reducing bureaucracy and increasing efficiency. These reforms, although sometimes controversial, have been essential in transforming Benin's economic base and initiating sustainable growth. Under Patrice Talon, Benin has undergone an impressive transformation of its infrastructure, considered the foundation of its economic growth. Recognizing that modern infrastructure is essential to boost trade, attract investment, and improve living conditions, Talon has implemented ambitious projects in several key sectors. One of the flagship projects was the modernization of the autonomous port of Cotonou. This port, crucial for regional trade, has benefited from significant technical improvements to increase its capacity and reduce waiting times. It is now a competitive logistics hub in West Africa. At the same time, massive investments have been made in the road network. New roads have been built, while key axes linking rural areas to urban centers have been rehabilitated. This has not only facilitated the transport of agricultural goods, but also opened up isolated regions, thus stimulating their economic development. Talon has made energy a priority, with a clear vision to reduce dependence on electricity imports. Benin has invested in solar energy projects, such as the Bohican solar power plant, and modernized its electricity distribution network. The result: better access to electricity for households and businesses, promoting industrialization. Efforts have been made to modernize cities, including Cotonou, Porto Novo, and Parakou. These cities benefit from sanitation projects, such as rainwater management, as well as new public spaces to improve the quality of life of residents. In the social field, educational and health infrastructure has been built or modernized, improving access to essential services. The development of tourism infrastructure is also a priority. The rehabilitation of the royal palaces of Abumi and the promotion of national parks aim to make Benin a leading cultural and ecological destination. These infrastructure projects demonstrate Talon's desire to build a resilient and competitive Benin, ready to compete with its African neighbors economically and socially. Since Patrice Talon came to power, Benin's economic indicators have shown remarkable growth, thanks to ambitious reforms and strategic investments in infrastructure. Benin has one of the highest economic growth rates in the region. In 2023, GDP grew by 6.1%, compared to a regional average of around 3%. This performance is mainly attributed to the sectors of modernized agriculture, trade, and infrastructure investments. According to World Bank data, the poverty rate in Benin has fallen from 40.1% in 2015 to around 38% in 2023. Although challenges remain, this decline shows that the government's efforts are starting to have an impact on the most vulnerable populations. Benin has seen a significant increase in FDI, attracted by its improved business climate and infrastructure projects. In 2023, FDI reached $495 million, up 20% from 2020. Benin's exports, including cotton, cashew, and other processed agricultural products, have been steadily increasing. Diversifying exported products has enabled the country to better withstand fluctuations in international markets. Benin has moved up in the World Bank's Doing Business rankings, reaching 149th place in 2020 from 175 in 2016. Although more work is needed, this improvement reflects the government's administrative and fiscal reforms. These figures illustrate the progress made under Patrice Talon and position Benin as a model of economic development in West Africa. However, challenges such as unemployment and income inequality remain, requiring continued attention. Despite the remarkable progress made under Patrice Talon, his term is not without criticism and persistent challenges. Talon has been criticized for his management of the political space. Opponents accuse his administration of centralizing power, limiting freedom of expression, and reducing political competitiveness. Controversial electoral reforms have sparked tensions, and there are calls for democratic backsliding. This perception has sometimes tarnished the country's international image. While poverty rates have declined, regional and social inequalities remain a concern. Rural areas, in particular, are benefiting less from economic reforms than large cities such as Cotonou. In addition, youth unemployment, although declining, remains high, limiting their inclusion in economic growth. To finance its many infrastructure projects, Benin has increased its public debt, reaching around 45% of GDP in 2023. Although this level remains manageable by international standards, some experts warn of the risks of excessive long-term debt. The government's economic ambitions have sometimes been criticized for their environmental impact. Major projects, while necessary, raise questions about ecological sustainability, particularly in terms of natural resource management and deforestation. These challenges are a reminder that, although Benin has made significant progress, the path to inclusive and sustainable growth requires sustained efforts and strategic adjustments. Patrice Talon's presidency marked a significant economic transformation for Benin. Thanks to ambitious reforms, strategic investments, and modernization of infrastructure, the country is now establishing itself as a model of growth in West Africa. However, challenges remain, particularly in terms of reducing inequalities, job creation, and ecological sustainability. Benin's future will depend on its ability to maintain this momentum while promoting inclusive growth. The country is on the right track to becoming a key player in the region. Thanks for watching until the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you soon.